Finally, I did it. I was able to get my number one 2021 comic book goal. Stay tuned to find out what it is. In fall of 2020, I wrote down a list of books that I wanted to get for 2021. That was my 2021 comic book goal list. Now, I put on a couple Silver Age books that I wanted to get, and I put on a couple relatively modern age books, or they are modern age, but relatively newer modern books on that list. Now, I had a plan in place, and I told very few people of what book that I was actually trying to get. Now, I had this plan set up. I wanted to flip some comic books. I did not want to have to use money outside of what I already had in books. Now, if you guys have ever seen the Regie Collects YouTube channel, and I talk about it a lot right here, he talks about using the hobby to pay for itself. I took those lessons to heart. And I had a plan, and I sent some books off to CGC to be graded so that I could sell them, so that I could use them to make an upgrade of my collection. I had a lot of doubles in my... I have a lot of doubles in my collection. And those are the books that I sold. So I still have the books, or at least a copy of the books that I sold. And that was such an awesome experience for me to have, because I could take what was already here and just expand upon it and to get a new book, a Grail book. Now, there are a handful of people that were in on this, that knew what I was doing. One of them is Master Blaster. Another one of them is Reggie from Regie Collects himself. Young Matthew, who is a subscriber to Reggie, and Climbing Alan from Climbing Comics, who has his own YouTube channel. We've talked about it here in this channel. Now, those people, they knew what was going on, because I didn't want to not get this Grail book, and didn't feel like I didn't accomplish that goal. So I kept that information on what book it was close to the vest. It was such a fun journey in order for me to get these books back. I sent them off to CGC at the end of 2020, not long after I made my initial list. Waiting for books to come back from CGC is one of the hardest things to do, and takes some of the most willpower that a person can actually have. In order to not check daily on the CGC census tracker, or not census, their status tracker, that is a hard thing for a person to do when you are waiting for something. And what made it worse was the book that I will show you in this video, but the book that I wanted to get in the collection, something happened to that book and it caught fire, and every day there was some Comic Tom was putting something out about it, or Gem Min, or there was some news on Geekosity website. It was one of the hottest books out there, and the values, the prices that people would pay for this book, were absolutely nerve-wracking, because it seemed like every single day I would check, there would be a new record sales price on this book. And that's all right, because I was still able to get it. After I sold enough comic books and was able to build a war chest based upon what was already in my collection, I didn't have to go out and earn new money. This was value that was already in comic books that I already own. Once I had built up a large enough war chest, I got the comic community themselves to help me out. I put out a message on my Instagram page, and I said, does anybody know of anybody selling this book? And honestly, before I knew it, I had so many people showing me different listings on Instagram, different posts. They would introduce me to different people, and eventually I was introduced to an awesome seller. In fact, guys, I want to let you know how great the comic book community is. The seller and I, we negotiated for a couple days. We eventually came together and we met at a certain figure. Well, the problem was that figure, we came across it on a Friday evening. And we tried to transfer funds from me to him. But because it was a weekend, the bank transfer was not going to go through until Monday. What made this amazing was I saw a listing, and so did the seller. We saw a sale where the book literally doubled from what we agreed on in price. That seller still honored our agreement on what price it was. And not only that, the seller actually threw in this incredible Silver Age book. And I'll show you the first book that I had got from this person. Daredevil number 10. Now guys, this book came out in 1965, and this looks to be in pretty darn good shape. This was extra, and this is after the seller knew that the book had doubled between the time that we had agreed on a value and before the funds got put into his account. So I want to say hats off to this person. I want to say hats off to the comic book community, because there are so many great people here. And I want to thank everyone who helped me to find this book, and I want to thank everyone who helped support me on my quest to get this. But without further ado, and I don't want to overplay this book, but I personally am super stoked about it because, guys, it doesn't matter what the book is. The book could be Turok number 1. That could be your absolute grail, and that's the book you want. And if you get that book, you're going to be genuinely happy. Well, that's kind of how the way I feel about this book. I am genuinely happy about the journey to get this. Now, without further ado, this is a Silver Age classic. This is Daredevil number 1 that was printed in April of 1964. Love this book. This is a Silver Age first appearance of a character that is very much rumored, many rumors, to be coming into the MCU. And we know that the Netflix series of Daredevil was phenomenal. And yes, I did like the Ben Affleck movie in the early 2000s. There were campy scenes to it. Please don't get me wrong. But overall, it wasn't a horrible movie. It was fun. It was quick-paced. Could not stand the montage scenes. But, whatever. We just look past those and we just enjoy a movie for movie's sake. So, this was my goal for 2021. And I have a few more books on the list. But this was the heavy hitter that I wanted to get into the collection. Super stoked about getting this there. And cannot wait to have this displayed on a wall. Walk into this comic book room that I really enjoy having. And seeing this grail hanging up on her for me to see. So, guys, I want to thank everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up, put a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Alright, guys, again, I want to thank everyone for watching, and you have a great day. In 2020, in fall of 2020,